welcome to Kitchen Basics 101, where I teach you the bare bone basics as if you've never cooked a day in your life from the perspective of a mom. I've missed you guys so much. I am literally never alone in my kitchen. And today my son and my husband went to go to my parents' house and swim, and I only get like an hour. And I'm like, they're like, you want to come? I'm like, no, I have got to cook some stuff for my family. They're like, for your family? I'm like, my TikTok family. Like, I am missing my TikTok family so much. By the way, I'm totally obsessed with this brand. I love this sausage, so good. So we're gonna make some sausage pasta. I'm putting the sausage in a cold pan because I'm gonna put it on like low heat to start because I want to render out some of this fat because we want to use that fat to make the delicious pasta sauce. Okay, so putting it in a cold pan, I'm going to put it on the heat like low medium and just sort of start to brown it up, but I want it to release its fat. And if you do it high to start with, like if this was a hot pan and I put it in there, you'll get a sear, but you're not going to get like it to like release its fat. So we're going to go a little low and slow at first, release as much fat as we can. We'll be right back. I'm going to get my water onto the boil. There's two ways you could go about this. Like, I love most of like a meaty, thick sauce. I love it on like a rigatoni, especially like this with the spirals, because like sauce gets inside and gets stuck in the spirals. So I think that's a really good option for this. But I happen to have this egg pappardelle, which is sort of like a thick linguine noodle. And I thought, that sounds really good. And this is sort of more of a fresh pasta. I mean, not technically fresh, it's still dry, but it's a slow dry pasta and it only takes 6 minutes to cook. So I'm gonna put a pot of water onto the boil while I'm waiting for my meat to brown up. Chunk. I'll try to do this one-handed. We'll see if our pan is heavy enough. But it just helps to like break up the meat, you know? And if you get a little bit of like stickage, like especially if you're using like a cast iron or stainless steel like I am, you'll probably get some stickage, like it'll stick to the bottom of the, it's okay. Don't worry about it. We're gonna deglaze this anyways with like some broth or something or some water or something. I haven't decided yet. So don't worry, okay? Now that it's mostly brown, I'm gonna turn the heat up to high and I just wanna get a little bit of crispy bits on it. When you see a recipe that tells you to brown the meat, this is what they mean, okay? Cook the meat until it's like 90%, 80 to 90% cooked. And then just remember, this was like all up in the raw meat, so I wouldn't use this tool anymore. Time for her to have a little wash. And we'll switch to a different tool, okay? I worked with this sausage before, and I know this sausage has tons of flavor in it. So much seasoning, a little bit spicy, salty, savory, amazing. If you're using a sausage that you think doesn't have much flavor, when you browned it off, I would do salt, pepper, maybe garlic powder, maybe onion powder. And at this stage, if you love onions, you could put in like a half a chopped onion right now and just saute those onions up a little bit till they get soft and translucent, okay? For me, you guys know I don't love onion, so I'm gonna put some garlic. These are cubes of frozen garlic, which I love, so convenient. So I'm gonna put like 3 cloves. Each of these cubes is equal to a clove of this frozen garlic in here. You only want to cook garlic until it becomes fragrant because it can burn really easily. So you're just going to cook the garlic for like 30 seconds. You get a little bit of extra time with these frozen cubes because they're so icy cold, they don't burn as fast. But I promise you, as soon as they start to disappear into this meat, they can burn really quickly, okay? So be mindful. 30 seconds after I put in my garlic, I'm going to make a little space here. And I'm going to put in some tomato paste. Not too much, just a little bit, because we're doing a creamy sausage pasta here, so we don't want it to be too tomato forward, but we want a little bit of that tomato flavor, okay? So we're gonna put it in here and we're gonna let it get hot and we're gonna mix it in with our sausage and just let it come from this bright tomato paste color into just a little bit more of a muted like burgundy color, okay? We're gonna cook that, they call it cooking the tin out of the tomato paste, right? We're gonna cook a little bit of that tinny taste out of it. Ooh, I can smell my garlic now. Okay, we don't want to burn it, so let's go easy. Make sure we get our liquid out and ready. You can do white wine if you like. You could do red wine. You could do water. I'm going to do a little bit of chicken bone broth because that's what I have, and it's not going to impart a lot of flavor here. Just a little saltiness, a little umami, but you can totally use wine if you like wine. You could use water. You could use beef stock. You could use whatever makes you happy here. You just need a little liquid to deglaze the pan. Not a lot, okay? Just a little bit. Oh my gosh, I wish you guys could smell this. It smells so amazing. By the way, am I the only one completely obsessed in watching Love Island? Because, oh my God, God, Leah is our queen. I'm so obsessed with Leah Miguel. I just can't stop. I know she's vegan. She won't eat this, but that's okay. We'll have to make some vegan food in honor of Leah. Okay, see how we've taken it from bright tomato to just a little bit more of like a burgundy. Now let's deglaze the pan, and that just means we're gonna add liquid to the pan, and we're gonna scrape all of our crusty bits off the bottom of our pan using the liquid. Not a lot of liquid. I would say just like that's a 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons. Let's start there and see when I pull it apart. It's not that much liquid, right? We're just trying to have enough liquid that we can kind of pull our crispy bits off of the pan, scrape them up with our wooden spoon, incorporate all that great flavor into our sauce, add a little bit of moisture here. For the creamy component, you could use milk, sure. You could use heavy cream, sure. You could use half and half, sure. You could use mascarpone, sure. Today, I think I'm gonna use ricotta because I think it has a great sweet, mild flavor. I think it's gonna go well in this dish, but all those other things would work. Milk for me, like my stomach's not as big of a fan, and you get just, I think, a little more protein if you use a cheese, so we're gonna use ricotta. When you cook, once you're past the stage where it's safe to taste, you need to taste for seasoning. So I'm gonna give this a little taste. Pasta comes in a pound box. This is a pound. This is 8.8 ounces. So 2 of these is like a pound and change, right? Because these are 9 ounces each, 18 ounces. A pound is 16 ounces. So we're 2 ounces over, but I'm gonna use 2 packages of this so I get around a pound. Our water is just now coming to the boil, and so we're gonna salt it like the Mediterranean, be pretty generous. We're gonna fit as much of this pasta in here as we can. We might not be able to fit it all into this pan. I was literally only able to fit 1 box, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Our pasta's done, but I was only able to put 1 box. So we're gonna transfer it over into our hot sausage mixture that we made before. We're gonna take a ladle full of the pasta water, and we're gonna pour some of that on here. Maybe not the whole ladle full. Let's give this a good toss. I know you're thinking, where's the creamy component? Well, here it is. Here's our ricotta. I'm gonna put maybe like 2 big scoops and give it a toss and see where I'm at. I'll tell you about how much when I get it where I want it, okay? I'm adding it last, not to the sauce before I started, because cheese can be kind of delicate. You wanna try to do cheese off the heat if you can, because I don't know, it can kind of like go bad on you and get kind of stringy and weird if it's too hot. So I like to do it as kind of on either a low heat or off the heat and just use the heat of the noodles. So let me give this a stir. I'll be right back. How absolutely stunning is this? I ended up using about half the container of the ricotta. So about 8 ounces of ricotta cheese in here. I love it. It's salty, it's savory, it's creamy, just a little spicy. For me personally, I think it's missing just a touch of sweetness. I think if you had sauteed onions in there, and maybe next time I would do that, pulverize some onions and put them in there, I think you would have had just a touch more balance with some sweetness. Or just a touch of sugar, or honey, or not honey. I think onions would have been the right sweetness. Just a little bit of like chopped up onion or pulverized onion would have really balanced this dish out, but it's absolutely delicious like it is. Very savory, very filling, creamy, spicy, and so easy. I made a mess though. I made a big old mess. 10 out of 10 recommend.